Hey everyone, welcome back to This Week in Marketing Show, also known as the TWIM Show. I'm your host Sajid Islam, and today I'll be going over the notable news and updates in the digital marketing space from the week of November 9, 2020. Today, first off, we're going to start off with an update from Instagram. Recently last week, Instagram CEO had a interview with CNBC. There he touched on three topics, but the two that are really important to us is the one where he touched on that Instagram is redesigning the Reels app, which is basically the TikTok competitor, and make shopping more prominent. That's one. And number two, what he touched on was ads are coming to Reels. Yes, that's correct. Ads are coming. And if you thought there will not be any ads in Reels, then obviously we were not thinking right, because that's how Facebook slash Instagram slash all their web properties make money. So what does this mean? It means, number one, more opportunities for us to advertise on Instagram, like more real estate, more ad inventory. Number two, what this means also is that Reels is actually taking off. Remember, the platform will not be adding ads into this new format, which is Reels, unless they saw some interaction, some engagement, some growth, right? Number one. And number two, also they're feeling the pinch because TikTok has ads, so they need to get there before they lose all this user base advertisers, because people are flocking into TikTok for advertising, because now you cannot do that. So it's a combination of both, but overall this is good trends, good thing for advertisers. Will remain to be seen if how everyone interacts or reacts to this whole thing, especially for users. With that, let's move on to the next one from Instagram. Is that Instagram web now supports multiple accounts. So for example, for us, I have my own personal account, and then I have my Market and Grow account, which does this show. And for us, I could do this from my app, but now if I want to interact, obviously being able to support multiple accounts from the desktop really is helpful. But that's about it. With that, let's move on to the next one from our friends at Google. Yes, so Google suggested that they're going to change some of their SEO metrics starting 2021. Now, why is SEO important, right? SEO is something very important because, hey, there is only so much we can do and grow our business using paid advertisement and doing things on social media where we know the reach is crap unless we have our content go viral, right? And that's a lot of work. Organic SEO, search engine optimization, allows you to show up naturally, organically at the top page, and that can make and break your business. Because imagine if someone is searching for phone and your company shows up, and I just thought phone just because I have my phone right in front of me, but if your company shows up, it's fabulous, right? You don't have to pay for ad. You are on the first page of Google, especially if you're in the first three results. That's fabulous. So it's the three things you want to keep an eye on is that really Google touched on is in the technical term, they call it largest contentful paint, LCP. But all it matters is how long does it take for your page to load. Yes, Google, if you've been following our show, or if you have been following Google, Google is really hell-bent on this thing, how long it takes, especially on mobile. Do you have HTTPS, which is a secure connection on your website or not? That's the care. The next thing they're talking about is first input delay, which is how long does it take for your page to become interactive so users can click and search. Google says that websites should strive to have an FID of less than 100 milliseconds. Let me repeat that. Yes, you heard it right. 100 milliseconds, not 100 seconds or 1 second, right? 100 milliseconds. So they also basically gave a link to a tool that you can use, and we're going to put the link into our show notes. Check it out. That will help you find out, how long it takes for your website's FID, first input delay. Remember that's very critical, and that's going to all change from May 2021. So you still have like another good 7 months or so, but it's never too late to try it out, because If they're officially rolling out 2021, I'm sure their crawler has started already indexing pages. So you want to make those changes now. The last one is cumulative layout shift. This element measures the visual stability of your page. For example, have you ever gone to tap on something on a page and then it suddenly moved or shifted as you have done so, and you have accidentally clicked on something else, taking you to a wrong destination? And this happens to a lot of these websites, the news sites that are supported by ad, where ads are injected dynamically, and as it loads, the ads gets injected, and then pages and contents are shifting. Google is going to penalize those ad pages. So again, I know most of our viewers and most of our listeners are not into those kind of stuff, so you should be good about it. But just keep in mind, if you have any dynamic loading content, make sure you're not doing this. Google is not going to like it, and they're going to penalize you. With that, let's move on to my favorite topic, podcast, right? This is also a podcast show. If you're watching it on YouTube, then obviously it's a video show. But anyway, what happens is Spotify purchased this podcast company called Megaphone. Megaphone happens to be actually headquartered Reston, which is very close to where I am based. What I want to talk about, I'm not going to talk about about the monetary. Let me just talk about it. I mean, Spotify paid $235 million to Megaphone to get this. But what this is all about is, this is gonna allow Spotify to put better ads into the podcasts. So folks, if you have been doing podcasts and you kind of say, hey, there is no way for us to monetize podcasts, or how do we advertise to listeners who are on podcast, this is a great opportunity, because this is going to come. Spotify is doubling down. They bought, I think, $800 million or so to get Joe Rogan onto their platform exclusively. Podcast is here to stay. 2021 is going to be interesting. So keep an eye on that, and also start to think, how can you use podcast for your business, whether it's advertisement or use podcast to grow your audience, either or. With that, let's move on to the next one, which is again about WhatsApp shopping. And it's just that, WhatsApp business is adding shopping features. If you follow our show, 2 weeks ago, we talked about some changes that are coming into WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is trying to basically go into this whole supporting business. It's becoming a business supported platform, right? And Google is I make a mistake. It's not Google, it's Facebook. Facebook is basically going to add a button soon in the place of existing voice call on the chat screen. And they're going to basically allow you to, help you to support your shopping features, right? So take a look at it, see how it helps you. Again, if you're not on WhatsApp Business, that's fine. You don't have to get on it right now, but keep that in mind. That is another opportunity for you in the future when you feel like you want to tap into user base, have your customers' phone number, and you want to reach out to them through WhatsApp. But again, I do not know how this will all work if your future customers do not have, or current customers do not have WhatsApp. With that, let's move on to Google. Last month, Google announced web stories are available in Google Discover, which is part of the Google app on Android and iOS that is used by more than 800 people each month. That's a big number. So the Stories carousel now available in the US, India, Brazil. At the top of Discover helps you to find some of the best visual content from around the web. In the future, they intend to expand web stories in Discover to more countries and Google products. Now, Web Stories is a content curation platform created by Google and is now being added to Google Discover. Users are now have the option to create web stories from your WordPress. Yes. So if you have a WordPress website, you could actually use the Google tool to publish web stories. Now, why does it matter? Because imagine 800 million people are using Google Discover every month. If you have a website where you are doing blog, if you have a website where you have updates, wouldn't you want to capture that 800 million people because you're doing it anyways? If you answered yes, then this is something worth looking into it, right? And if you're not into blogs, and if you are into one of those funnel world where you have like, pop-up pages and you do it and you drive traffic through advertisement, then neither the SEO nor the web stories matter to you. In that case, let's skip over. But all I'm saying is that this is a great opportunity. We have ourselves ran Google Discover ads for our TWIM show, and we are going to publish those results in our private group. So if you're not part of our private group, maybe you want to join that private group, because that's where we're gonna peel the layers and kind of show you what kind of results we got, whether it was good or bad. And again, this is something we cannot share it on this podcast, just on this show, just because it's not the right platform, because this show is all about sharing updates. With that, let's move on to the next one. If you haven't heard, TikTok was supposed to get banned. Then they were unsure what's going to happen. They filed a lawsuit, and now they have 15 more days before they gets banned. And now the talk is, now that we all know the new administration, the Biden administration is coming in, the chances are TikTok, whole thing is going to go away, just because President Trump was the one who was against TikTok, but Biden haven't said anything, so we are just assuming at this point, but we'll see what happens. Next up on TikTok, we have TikTok released new features. These are mainly around search, right? So when a user opens up the tab on filters on TikTok, they can improvise their search results by applying several filters, such as they can choose to show posts from all time, previous day, past week, past month, past 3 months, and past 6 months. I personally believe that's a great feature, because if you have used TikTok, again, I don't use TikTok on a regular basis because it's so addictive that every time I go in there, I'm there for hours. But it's so much content. And when I think of this, I wish Instagram also had this, because I can go to Instagram Reels and it's just like content, but I do not know which content is what. If there was a way for me to see and look at content, like whether it was the past 7 days, or even pivot the content based on location, that would be game changer. So I do give a thumbs up to TikTok for actually thinking in the right direction for at least some of the things. They're going to also add this thing called mutual tab to show their mutual connections with other people. It's the same thing as Facebook's mutual friends. Again, this is something they're copying from Facebook, so they don't get so much credit for innovation here, just because they're copying it. But hey, TikTok, at least they're paying attention to their customer needs, so that's great. Next up, we have Facebook. Facebook shares consumers' behavior insights during COVID-19. Now, if you're following us, we have covered this kind of stuff again and again, week over week, or every month or the other, as these contents are coming out. So this year has been an interesting year where all these platforms are coming out and giving us insights and lessons on how to do things better on their platform, and hook and interact and engage with the users on their platform. So that's very valuable. If you're in business, or you should definitely get yourself or whoever handles your marketing, read all these reports. This report itself was 72 pages, and some of the 3 key points from this report is growth in streaming videos. It has increased since the pandemic. Well, obviously, that's something, goes without being said, just because, it's a pandemic. People are stuck at home. They had no other place to go. And they were sharing and streaming videos. People who watched live stream of a show or concert said that they could see themselves watching more live shows in years to come. It's like they got hooked. Initially, there was this mental block, and again, that same thing happens from work from home, working remotely. People thought you cannot do certain jobs from home, from remotely, and then the pandemic forced everyone. This whole transformation happened. Now people are like, hey, do we really need to go to the office? Same thing happened with live streaming of shows and concerts. People initially thought, I don't want to go to a show, and now they're like, you know what, it's not so bad, maybe I'll do that. The third thing is people care more about a brand that shared their own values. That's a key point, right? Maybe, if you're not already sharing your key values about your business, about your brand, maybe you should start doing that. Because if Facebook is coming out with a report that says that, and this is not something new, I believe we covered something last week as well, where we touched on the same thing in a different way. So absolutely pay attention. On to Twitter. The most interesting thing is that Twitter is now having a new carousels ad format. Marketers can add up to 6 images or videos in an ad. People seem to love carousel ads. Sprout Social reports that carousel ads on Facebook and Instagram drive 10 times more web traffic for businesses than the counter single image ads. And then there's a Facebook study that reports carousel ads drive 72% higher click-through rate than single images. So good luck to Twitter users or Twitter advertisers, because this is really great. Finally, Twitter is catching up. Next up, again with Twitter, is that they're kind of sharing their insights into the holiday trends, and they're saying there have been 59% growth of impressions on holiday related tweets year over year. And some trending holiday topics are giving, gifts, shopping. Now you could say, hey, we are not on Twitter. Why do we care? Because you know what? People are people, whether they're on Twitter, whether they're Facebook, whether they're something. Take this data, apply it to your business. Apply it and get people to your business, whether you have a special for Black Friday, holiday seasons and whatnot. That's what it matters. It doesn't have to, you don't have to be on Twitter. You know, the people, humans who are on Twitter are the same humans who are on Facebook. It's just that Twitter was able to measure this engagement or these words in a different way than Facebook was, just because Twitter is a more text platform. And last off, 62% on Twitter said that they plan to shop online for Black Friday. There you go. If you don't have a Black Friday deal, maybe it's time to put a Black Friday deal online. Next up, Pinterest. Why would they be left behind? They also offered holiday gift guide, which reveals gift trends. Some of the trends that I'm seeing over here are housewarming gift baskets. I do not know why, they're seeing a 2.5 times search activity on housewarming gift baskets. Maybe people are buying home. The real estate industry is hot. The interest rate has been low. Again, this is not a real estate show, but I just want to say mortgage rates are low. People are buying, especially in the area where I live. It's like, property prices are going up and up and up, especially also the fact that Amazon is coming into this area doesn't really help, especially if you're on the buyer side. If you're the seller side, that's great news for you, right? But gifts for plant lovers, movie night box gifts, self-care package gift ideas, skincare products, diamond jewelry necklace, indoor gym for kids, natural toys, personalized cutting boards, and kitchen gift baskets. So these are some of the things where Pinterest is seeing a lot of engagements. I'm not going to go cover all the percentage. If you really want to know which percentage is growing and by what percent, we are going to put this in the show notes. Please check it out. Just because the time limit, we cannot really go into all the details. Last up, the bonus. We have research by the video advertising firm VideoMob that reveals video ad boasts 48% higher sales compared to static digital ads. Yes, 48% higher sales compared to static digital ads. So, and what did they say? They said that a 10 to 15 second video sold 19% more than an average length video, right? Again, they didn't specify what an average length video is, but they did say, let's stick to the fact. 10 to 15 second video sells more. Let's just do that, right? And overall, a video ad does better than static digital ads. Keep that in mind. They also said that short video ads perform better than anything else. Anything else, as in more than a short video ads perform better than a 5-second video ads. So again, folks, if you are listening to this or watching this show, keep in mind, put some video ads up there, and you'll be glad you did. The last bit I will say is that video ads that show text in the first frame or within 3 seconds after the video starts was able to see an increase in purchase by 46% when compared to those that were shown without any written material. So if you're not putting big text around your video, maybe you should put it in. With that, we are to the end of our show. Thank you, folks. That's all for This Week in Marketing. Now you know everything you need to know. If you'd like to read more, make sure you visit our show page where you will find the links to the articles mentioned. And if you enjoyed this episode of This Week in Marketing, make sure you give us a thumbs up, follow us on our social media page. Once again, this is your host Sajid Islam signing off until next week. Bye-bye.